Tales from Your Server, Episode 4. The Man Who Talked Himself Out of a Free Drink. Hello all. I think this may be my first post here, so I'll provide a little helpful background. I work for a local coffee chain. My location, especially my boss's really nice, is pretty lax about giving out free drinks to people for all sorts of reasons, and we also give out a discount if people bring in a cup for us to fill. We are also currently on summer hours, so we close at 3 p.m. Yesterday, around 2:45 p.m., I was alone behind the counter. My boss was taking out the trash, trying to get the floors cleaned, when this man came up. This dude is a regular and my interactions with him are always strange, but he came up with his own 8 ounces cup, our extra small size, asking for drip coffee, pretty inexpensive for us. I explained to him that we were about to close and I had a lot of coffee left, so I was going to give it to him on the house, since I would have to dump it all soon anyways. I also was standing in floor cleaner and wanted to shorten our interaction. OMG. He blew up. He started yelling at me, "It's only 2:45, you don't close until 3 o'clock. How could you be about to close?" etc. From what I could make out, he was angry that I wasn't charging him. I just sighed and rang him up, but you can bet that he didn't get his cup discount. I just don't get it. If someone offered me a free drink that I was prepared to pay for, I'd just say thanks and tip. Oh well. Teenage girl defends me in front of her asshole dad. This happened the other night. We were unexpectedly very busy, and I was having an incredibly rough day. Everything went wrong, and at one point was yelled at by a grown man for something that was out of my control. So I was having a shitty day, but I was putting my server face on regardless. I'm told I have a guy at table 9. I go up to greet him, his breath reeks of alcohol. I say, "Hey there. How are you today? My name is Pira." He cuts me off. "Do you really wanna know? Do you really want to know how my fucking day is going?" Clearly, he's drunk. Me, I guess not. That's okay. What can I get you to drink? See, that's what I thought. You don't care. So how was your day, miss? Me, well, it's been pretty good. Can't complain too much. What can I get you to drink? Oh, okay. So your life is good? Everything is just great? Husband's happy. Kids are happy. You're making great money. Kind of sexist. I'm not married nor do I have kids, but I'm trying to not get derailed or put behind more than I already am, so I tell him, yep, kids are good, everything's fine. Okay, haha. Well, before you rudely asked how my day was and then admitted you didn't really want to know, I was going to tell you I want a Budweiser. I say okay, I leave and meanwhile tell my manager this guy is drunk, not sure I should be serving him. She says he's a regular and acts like this always, slurring and being an ass, whether he's drunk or not. He doesn't stay long, just serve him. I bring him his Bud. Oh, Bud Light must have really changed up their labels, I've never seen one that looks like this. Long story short, he's adamant he ordered a Bud Light, not a Budweiser. Whatever. I take it back and bring him a new one. Now his daughter, ex-wife and new husband walk in. They sit down and are very lovely people. The 2 other adults order a beer. Daughter looks very unhappy and it looks like she was forced to come. She says very little the entire time. Now before their food comes up, an incident happens where I become distracted. I'm walking out of the kitchen to pick up the refill on beers for my table, albeit about 5 minutes late, and I run into drunk guy holding 3 different beers. Well, since you couldn't manage to do your job and get our beers, I did your job for you. Thanks a lot. I tell him I'm very sorry, truly. His daughter yells at him to shut up and his ex-wife is assuring me it's totally okay, it really wasn't an issue. I now have an extra 3 beers since he went to the bartender before I could run them, so since I have to pay for them anyways and because I was a bit at fault for running behind, I bring them over to the table and say, "This round is on me guys, I'm sorry about the wait." Drunk guy laughs. "What are these? Ha 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 ha, we didn't order these." Ex-wife repeats what I said, since he clearly just ignored me. He goes on mocking me, laughing and finally says, "Well, okay then." The kitchen is backed up, so I just start bringing the food as it comes, explaining everything is coming out at different times and I don't want anyone's food getting cold. Everyone understands, but every time I set something down he makes a nasty comment about what I forgot. His daughter has finally had enough and her embarrassment turned into anger. Daughter, Dad, seriously shut the fuck up. She just explained the sides are all coming in a minute. It's clearly busy, and I'm sure she doesn't even want to deal with our table anymore because you're such an asshole. He points to the beers as if to make a point about my bad service. I start walking away but hear her while I'm doing so. Daughter, so she forgot your beer. Shit happens. You don't know what kind of day she's having, and it's just mean at this point. She even bought you around. She didn't have to. What is wrong with you? I don't hear the conversation beyond that, but when I bring the sides over the table is completely silent. The others continue to be pleasant while he's sitting there just sulking and looking drunk and stupid. The other guy at the table, I understood him to be a stepdad, comes over to me and explains it's the daughter's birthday and asks if I can bring a dessert, but not say anything about it. After all of this I make an awesome brownie sundae, which I comped for her. Dad makes some stupid comment about how did I know. I'm not interested in making banter with you, fucking asshole. But I leave on good terms with the rest of the table, and stepdad, who paid, leaves me a big tip and is very thankful for the free round of beers and dessert. Long story, I know. But I just want to say thank you to this girl. I was at my wit's end, and her sticking up for me really helped me to move on with my day. I could see how uncomfortable she was the whole time and I really feel for her. Customer calls out a rude poor tipper. Hi everyone, I have shared this story a couple times on this sub and thought others might find it interesting. This was about a year ago. I work in a small dive bar in NY. Probably 75% of the people who come in are regulars and visit a few times a week to eat, drink. This one guy who I had never seen before comes in and is just one of those customers that nothing is right for. Complained about the food, price, etc. He is finally ready to close out and I cash him out and give him the change. I head to the other side of the bar just hoping to avoid having to deal with him any longer when I hear from one of my regulars who was sitting next to him, "You were that much of a pain in the ass and that is all you're leaving for a tip." The guy kind of turns red and just walks out. One of my favorite memories bartending. Love when a regular says what I am thinking. Can we get real menus? This 5-top I had today, lunch shift, looked difficult when they walked in. As soon as I went to take their drink orders, this woman goes, "Can you bring us some real menus?" I'm just like, "Oh, those are our lunch menus." And she says, "We don't mind paying more, just please bring us the real menus." I tell them that we don't have everything prepared for dinner and that's why we have the lunch menus, politely. She just rolls her eyes and I go to get their drinks. When I come back, they're ready to order. A man at the table says, "Yeah, I'd like a grilled salmon." Salmon isn't even on our real menu. He was not happy about that either. They left me $1.17 on an $83.83 check, smiley face. A short story of sarcasm and appreciation. When I was little, my dad used to walk into the living room and shoot me a dirty look. "An amp, #X200B. You used to be big," he'd say in a condescending tone. "An amp, #X200B. I'd give him a dirty look right back from where I was sprawled out on the floor watching TV and shoot back, "I'm still big. It's the parts that got small." And I'd stick my nose in the air indignantly. "An amp, #X200B. Years later, an older man comes into the restaurant with his wife and gives me a dirty look for no reason. I instinctively give him a dirty look back and he blinks in surprise. They get seated in my section and he keeps making smart-ass comments to which I respond in kind. Finally, he leans back and says, "You really are a smart aleck, aren't you?" He actually said, "Smart aleck, not smart ass," and amp, #X200B. I stare back at him deadpan and say, "That's what my daddy tells me," and amp, #X200B. He laughed. His wife laughed. The waitress at the register on the other side of the restaurant, we weren't very busy and it was quiet, laughed. He left a good tip. An amp, #X200B. I had just gotten back to work after taking time off when my dad passed. I don't know what instinct told me I could have that kind of banter with this stranger, but it made me feel good to be able to share that kind of humor again. An amp, #X200B. TLDR, smart aleck competition with customer ends in laughter and good memories. An amp, #X200B. Edit, I got distracted and posted the story before I finished writing it. Some people, tonight, our tenders were on special for 89 cents. Cool, what a deal. This lady decides to complain that 2 of her tenders were too small, and demanded new ones come out. Do you not know how tenders work? Can't you be grateful you got these on special? Some people, your soup has tofu in it and my friend is allergic to soy, so I can't drink it. So, today an old lady, I don't know why it's mostly older ladies that give me issues, came up to pay for her meal and commented about the complimentary soup, which she drank half of, spilled, and we gave her another one on the house. The second bowl was untouched and she told me she couldn't drink it, cause her friend is allergic to soy. At this point I'm wondering, should I call the cops since you're obviously running a human centipede project back at home? Otherwise, you make no fucking sense, lady. Manager made me pay for a mess up, is it legal? So I've been working at this restaurant arcade for 4 months and it's been slow most days since we first opened in March. Because of that I don't have much experience because I get sent home early a lot. I've been serving for 3 years, so I am experienced, just not with this place. It also doesn't help that Micros is probably the worst POS system I've ever used. Well, tonight I accidentally finalized a card transaction with cash instead of the card, and because we were actually super busy with all-you-can-eat wings, I figured I'd get a manager to correct the transaction after the rush. I've made similar mistakes before that were easily fixable. After the rush I grabbed my manager to fix it, but he couldn't and said I waited too long and that the only way to fix it now would be me paying for it myself, so I let him use my card. I remember reading on here a few times that it's illegal for managers to make you pay for a walkout, so I'm wondering, is this similar? Is it illegal for my manager to make me cover this because I'm about to contact HR about it? The bill was $71 and TBH I usually make less than that in tips. Room for 2 more? Let's say it is a busy night, 30-minute wait times or longer. A single diner is seated at a 4-top and says that if 2 or 3 other diners wanted to share the table with him, would you mention it to anybody still waiting for a table? Customer calls Domino's 25 times in a row. Fuck customers, they are nothing but absolute assholes who have to, make an employee's job miserable for the hell of it. I haven't posted on here in a little while because there wasn't any good time to sit down and fully write. But this cunt, holy shit man, before I go into this story I'm not going to lie, I might have been a little bit in the wrong, but after you read this I hope some of you can understand as to where I was coming from. I didn't curse her out or say anything threatening, but I just hope some of you will understand. Also, if you have any questions regarding the incident, please feel free to ask. So at Domino's people have the option of ordering online, and when they order online their order goes into the online orders file and is sent straight to the make line. The people who handle the phone do not see the order or even know you made it. It's sent to the make line and it's delivered out, end of story. So I get a phone call from a woman, who right off the bat does not want to make this simple. Me, hi, thank you for calling Domino's, how may I help you tonight? Woman, yeah, where the fuck is my food at? Well, this is gonna be pleasant. So I ask her if she ordered for delivery or carry out. Once again, where the fuck is my food at? So she finally tells me, it's for delivery, and I find her address. I tell her it's going to be another 20-minute wait. She asked me why I, myself, personally didn't call her. I told her about how the online ordering process does not notify cashiers when you order and it goes straight to the make line. She told me that I have to call her whenever they place an order. I simply told her that there was no way of me knowing she had ordered, because it went straight to the make line. After that all bets were off. She starts ranting about Domino's and how we screw her over. The employees suck, she's a nurse and she doesn't deserve this, our food sucks, and she was just not stopping. I told her 3 times that if she would still like her food, but she was still going at it, so I told her to have a nice day and hung up in the middle of her ranting. What was I supposed to do? She was giving me shit for something I wasn't in control over. She's asking me questions about her order, and when I give her answers she's not accepting my answers, and after I asked her if she still wants her order remade 3 times in a row and she's still going off about how I'm doing a poor job. At that point you're not a customer, you're just a person who's harassing an innocent worker and disrupting business just so you can bitch. So I hang up and she calls the store again, asking for my name, which I regretfully gave, and continues to rant and bitch and moan, ignoring me asking if she wants me to remake her food for her, so I hang up again. The same fucking number calls again and I pick it up one more time, and this time she gets her father-in-law on the line and he bitches me out and says I'm doing a shitty job. I hang up the phone in the middle of his rant and I let my manager know what's happening. He decides to take care of the next time they call, and apparently the same thing happened to him to the point where he too had to hang up on this bitch. He told me to ignore her calls and take care of the other customers. This bitch called the store multiple times, constantly ringing the phone for a full hour and a half and probably longer because I headed home at 10:30. I come back in on Sunday and apparently she called corporate and said that yes, she complained about me. I told her I didn't care about her order. I asked you 3 times if you want us to remake your order, and you said I didn't care. And after she throws me under the bus she gets a free pie. You know what, you lazy bitch, if you ever read this? Fuck you, okay. Fuck you. You were not a customer, you were a cunt who had to insult me and bully a man who tried to help you to the point where you had to get a macho man to fight your battle for you that you started, and then go to my superiors to play the victim card and act like I was bullying you by saying that I said I didn't care about your order even though I asked you 3 times if you wanted me to take care of the late order. So fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I hope my manager has the balls to ban you from ordering at our store, because I will never help you out again. I don't care if I get fired, because you know what, I'm done. I'm so done with assholes like you pretending to be customers just so you can bully innocent people trying to do their jobs and you acting like the victim. I'm honestly considering quitting at this point because bitches like you are not worth it, you're just not. Any employees who read this, you do not take shit from any asshole customer like this. End of story. Exclamation mark. Question. What is suggestive gratuity? I noticed my menu said 18% suggestive gratuity. Me personally, for every $10 I tip 2. I feel that's more than fair. Am I being the asshole for wondering about this, or why? The item is $15, so I'd tip $2.50. Why do guests always feel they're entitled to pick where they sit? I feel like every single shift I work, I end up with a party that gets to their booth or table and starts asking each other, "Are you alright with this? Would you rather sit over there?" Points at other end of restaurant, and then they ultimately ignore me and sit themselves at a nearby booth or table and look up at me with that condescending, "Is this okay?" Daft cunts, all of them. What's the best serving shoes to get with a budget of $50 towards that? I serve in an almost 10K feet restaurant. We are allowed to wear anything, but I've always loved rocking skate shoes since I used to skateboard, but man, they're doing a toll. I'm a guy, Tia, not trying to get skate shoes for the job. Something specifically for walking around a lot. Does anyone know what I should expect if I take a job cocktailing in a strip club? I'm not sure where the best subreddit is to put this, but I thought I would try here. Smiley face.